Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video series. I'm Matthew Mendez, and what we will be going through these series is the life of ordinary people. We're using quotes around ordinary, because these stories are extraordinary, not just ordinary. Today I've had the pleasure to interview a man called Philip Stites here in Pullman, Washington, while I'm a student here at Washington State University. We're at pretty humble beginnings here in my dorm room, but hopefully we can get very far with these series here in the future. But Philip was a Vietnam War veteran, and throughout this interview, you will hear some extraordinary stories that he's been through, his outlook and view on life, and how he grew up. So we'll start off listening to how he grew up and his struggles, his things and moments he's learned through his service in Vietnam, and especially the wonderful man he is himself. So here's the interview with Philip Stites today.
I'm Philip Sitze, that's with one L.
One L.
Sitze.
Yes, and so tell me a little bit about, first of all, how you got here to Pullman, and how do I know you?
Okay, yeah, I can answer that question. Coming to Pullman, now I could go. How many segments back do you want me to go here?
This is your time.
I think it was led up here because I'm sort of a farmer at heart.
Yeah.
Studied agriculture and that kind of thing, and then forestry. But started out in Los Angeles, a city kid that really never thought of himself as a city kid. No, I'm not from LA, but everything we ever did was rural.
Mm.
My grandfather had a place in the high Sierras and in rural Northern California on the east side, and it was just desolate, and I just always loved the hiking into the mountains, and maybe before it was cool.
Right, before everyone starts doing it now.
Before I started doing it, we liked being alone. We always, even though we were born in the city, the big city, we just always talked about those, what would they be? They'd be the Flatlanders. The proverbial Flatlanders.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing here in my, we were just one of them too. But it just kind of led me into everything I did, forestry, gardening, and then finally up here came after 40 years in a little town called Susanville. From getting out of the service to moving up here. I mean, as an adult,
right?
I was there for 40 years.
And your kids grew up there too?
Kids all grew up there. Went off to college from there.
Yeah.
And then I followed them up here.
You followed them?
Yeah, followed Elizabeth first.
Yeah.
Her youngest daughter. And I miss the mountains. But I like the more solitude. I know that I go that way about a mile, it's just going to be nothing.
Yeah.
It's wheat fields and stuff like that. And that's right over there. That's heaven.
Yeah.
Right over there, just like it was in the little town I lived in. It's where the sun sets. It's just beautiful right over there.
This is your favorite spot then?
Yeah, it's been my trees. See my maple tree there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually, it's pretty pathetic view. But yeah, that's how I came here.
Yeah, and I know you got a few years on me. I mean, like 2 or 3 at most.
Few, yeah.
But tell me more about like growing up in your household. Like how many siblings you had? What was that family dynamics like?
We were raised in a town called Alhambra, California, and I think it was the good time of Southern California before it went like nuts. It was open fields, very rural. It was we used to get our manure because my dad was an avid gardener.
Mm-hmm.
And we had about almost an acre in the middle of the city, almost an acre of ground.
Wow.
And it kind of went down like, I don't know how my dad found it, but we always felt down there. I mean, we were just kind of like wild kids. I had an older brother that was about 7, 8 years older than me. And then I had another one that was 4 years older than me. And then came me. So three older brothers. And, but it was just, in the city, it was just rural enough. Eucalyptus trees instead of pine trees. And we always cut firewood and always were involved in things that weren't normal,
Right. Against the grain.
Yeah, just that again. If we always were more like wanted to be bums. What do you want to do? I don't know. I just want to be a trash guy. I just want to collect trash.
Larry Bird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we just were not knew a lot of people, were friendly with people, but we just weren't in with the in crowd. We just did not like that. Still don't.
Right.
Still don't. I enjoy people immensely, but I don't partying and stuff like that. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So that's how we came up. Let's see. The family dynamics.
Yeah.
Family dynamics. My dad was a hardwood wood salesman, 6 stories up in Los Angeles, and owned his own business, middleman for hardwood, for cabinets and stuff like that. Back in the old days when they actually had fine veneers and stuff.
The fake plasticky stuff.
Yeah, no plastic. And it was like, yeah. So, but the dynamics was, was always gardening. My dad, when he wore a suit and wingtips to work every day, hour to drive to into Los Angeles and back. And I don't know what he did, but he everything with a shake of a hand, no contracts or anything like that, and did very, very well.
Yeah.
For himself, for a guy I think went through. I think he might have got a little bit of a degree in a junior college.
Okay.
In Pasadena.
Yeah.
Pasadena Junior College, they call it. PJC, you always call it. My mom was probably a hippie before hippies were cool.
She started the trend, I hear.
She started the trend. You heard correctly. She, we grew up with, we didn't eat sugar, candy, everything, meats and stuff were just pressed out, no taste on them. Mama, and she had horrible gallbladder trouble her whole life, and she barely ate.
Yeah.
And that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
And so to this day, we're just sort of, we're not like stupid. I like a burrito,
Good.
Yes. Stuff like that. But I grew up in the church, where everything we did involved probably all of our outside things involved potlucks at church.
A dying art.
Yes. Red Jello.
Yes.
That kind of thing like that. Your friends, everybody.
Yeah.
And then it was shipped off to a Lutheran high school in Los Angeles, an hour there and an hour back on the bus every day. And we really didn't have friends outside of, but we had cousins. And they were as crazy as we were because we spent all of our summers at Mono Lake. Carried around big knives about this long and wood sticks and poked skunks and
Creating your own version of fun.
We absolutely, parents never knew where we were, even in the city.
Right.
We were always roaming around if we were in the high Sierras, out in the desert or in the mountains running around. They didn't know where we were. We were like all the back alleys going through the dumpsters. That was probably our family dynamic.
I love it. And I mean, as you mentioned, your father was in the hardwoods business, and you also, I'm sure you wouldn't say this yourself knowing you, but you had a very successful career in the forestry as well. But before all of that, you were also in the service itself, Army, if I remember correctly.
That's true.
And was that pre or post Vietnam?
That was pre or post. It was during.
During.
Is that the right way to say it?
That wasn't an option, but that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up.
Uh-huh.
I remember body counts on television, which we didn't have a TV, by the way, until I was a senior in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Not because my dad couldn't afford it. My mom just hated TV.
The hippie in her.
Yeah, it was the hippie in her, exactly. The body counts and stuff like that. Yeah, that's where I started that. Which was way out there.
Right.
But it escalated and escalated, and there's people got protesting and stuff like that. People were not, hey, this isn't World War II anymore.
Right.
Kind of a thing, not very popular. And at the time, I was into my agriculture. I studied egg business in Southern California, a town called Walnut, California, and I think I went about 2 years and decided I'm not a good student. let's be very clear about that. Just wasn't my thing. I'm more of a technical, hands-on technical person. I just, if I run into trouble, you just talk a little bit and you learn stuff from other people, which is one of my greatest joys in life. Is I will learn more from you any age than you will ever learn from me. And that's not me being modest. It's just me being practical. If I always am talking about myself, which I hate doing right now, but
I know.
But I'm not going to learn this and this and this and that.
Right.
And it served me well, because I'm interested in everything.
Yes.
Everybody. I want to hear.
I know you are.
I want to hear your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, foolishly, it's raising animals, and our senior exam and stuff would be setting up a 5-bottom plow on a tractor. We had to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Raise pigs, things like that. So this kind of that trend just sort of followed of who I was. But for some reason, I just was tired of being in this. I just didn't had no friends. You'd show up. It was a commuter college.
Right.
So I just show up and I never knew anybody. And all I really wanted to do was I don't know, just be out someplace, walking or doing stuff like that. And not thinking anything of my future, I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
And about 15 minutes later, I got greetings from the president saying, "You're in the Army now." And that was pre-draft.
Okay.
That was pre-lottery.
Okay.
Pre-lottery.
Yes.
And
if I remember correctly, the lottery was based off of birth dates.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and I had a brother that had been in Pleiku before me. He was a diesel mechanic over there, and so that was sort of a unrealistic, or me being the youngest of the brothers. They were just like, my other brother was gone, grown up, and then he was gone, and so here I was at home. Maybe that was it. I was just sort of by myself. But so the military, um, just in those days, it was a foregone conclusion you were going to go to Vietnam.
Right.
You know, it was. So I went in '69, in basic training stuff. So I just immediately, I think I had 2 weeks off after basic training in AIT, which is what you study, what you do, and found myself on a plane. You know,
Yeah.
see how did that go? Hawaii in the middle of the night. Don't get off the plane or we'll shoot you. Guam, it's dark still.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's daylight. Get off the plane, and you're running off, and the guys running back on. They're the ones everything's faded,
Right.
and they're making fun of us like, you're gonna die, sucker.
Yeah.
And but so I was really one of the lucky ones. I mean, that was later. It was most of the fighting and stuff had ended up more north,
Right.
you know, and I ended up going to Canto, Vietnam, THO, Canto, Vietnam, and stationed at a old French quarters when the French, I guess they were sort of the first people that were over there as advisors or whatever. I think.
They do, yeah,
everywhere
over the world.
Right. And but I was smart enough that number one, I was already an old man. I was like 21, going on 22.
And the average age was 19.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Vietnam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there one day. You know, I'm not going to get into all the running around in the military, basic training. But somebody came up to me. It said, "Any of you lily livered so-and-so's want to take a typing test?" And I go,
yeah.
Me, because I could type.
Right.
I learned how in high school,
Yeah.
I was a good typist and stuff like that. So it's for me, and went along and handed out our assignments. I'm a clerk.
Okay.
I'm a clerk. I'm going to live.
Right.
Yeah. And I think to this day, that's one of the reasons I made, that I wasn't in a situation. I mean, it was around us, but I wasn't.
Right. You weren't actively.
I wasn't in a swamp,
right.
Running point in the middle of a jungle and stuff like that. Yeah. There was a lot of.
It was a dirty, dirty war.
Yes,
really.
A dirty, dirty war. It was, but we were stationed at a place that we'd show off. It's been about 10 or 12 hours working with military MACV, Military Assistance Command, Vietnam, and we worked with the what do they call themselves, the Vietnamese army.
Okay.
The good guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And as advisors, and I worked in G1, which was, I did a lot of stuff that it had to do with personnel, but a lot of it had to do just with coming in and out, posthumous awards and stuff like that. And so I felt safe enough over there that one of probably the biggest hazard over there was we'd have to, like, a general or something would decide that he wanted to I don't know, write a message.
Right.
So you get in your Jeep and your M16 and you take out in the middle of the night, and you'd have to go in there and do whatever he wanted you to do.
Yeah.
and it was kind of spooky because we were right in the middle of this Canto town, and the typical Vietnamese dogs everywhere, people peeing in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Mekong Delta, so it was kind of a jungle. Uh, 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 I don't know. Just I guess the Delta part made it like a jungle,
Right.
stuff like there. So, but that I actually, um, well, I can only remember one other thing that I think I was there for a year, and most people got out of there about 9 to 10 months,
Mm-hmm.
and after about uh, I um, had volunteered because when I got out of the service, I did want to go home and salute and shine my shoes.
Right.
And so I made this like they had this deal that so if I extended over there, then so I was there for a year and 3 months and 3 days. Then, which
And
was a lot longer than
right.
a lot of people stayed.
But your service was done after that
Yeah,
point.
but it was done. I
Yeah.
came into Oakland, California, and it was done.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nothing I regret while we were over there. Military is especially the lifers
Mm-hmm.
are and obviously I was just a non-com and but I worked for people I really admired were the old like the sergeant majors,
Yeah.
and they were just career people, but they were only people that officers would salute. They were that good at it. But the rest of the non-coms, they drunk too little too much.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
They always it was just it was just a I mean just being over there was it could have been imminent because there was a lot of just attacks and
Right.
stuff like that. That was really, so we had bunkers and things, and we always slept with our rifles.
And was this your first time out of the country too?
This was the first time out of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, never been anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would, but you kind of got lulled into because we had a lot of Vietnamese people that worked for you on this compound.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I'm trust everybody, and everybody's my friend, even if they're Vietnamese.
Right.
And because we lived right in this compound, and it was surrounded by a village.
Okay.
And so you would do, you still had to do guard tower. That's the word I'm looking for. Guard tower duty. So you'd be up there with your machine gun and sit and target.
Yeah.
Right there. There they are right there. You could watch them in the morning come out, had a piece of plywood, and they come in there and they pee on it. I don't mean to be too graphic here.
No,
and then they come out later on with a chicken or something, and they cut the chicken up on the same piece of plywood.
Oh,
it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. But these were just poor Vietnamese people, just barely making it, but just trying to make the best out of their circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So they were, a lot of them spoke. The ones I did in my office there, they spoke pretty good English.
Yeah.
And I remember the only time like you said, it was a lot of just, I think morale was bad, and being over there for such a long time, and you never knew when something was going to come because there was constantly like attack helicopters around you. I remember when General Westmoreland visited our place once. He was one of the key generals back then. And as soon as he got off of his helicopter and he came, there was these Cobras, which is attack helicopters.
Yeah.
They just came over there and made this, right over him.
Yeah.
And I remember him. I was in my plaid shorts, off duty, and foolishly saluted him.
Yeah.
Out of uniform, out of everything, but I was off duty.
Right.
But it was just a surreal waste of people. You
Right.
know, I mean, it just. And it was to the point there was on to becoming drugs there. Mostly back then, it was like mostly marijuana and stuff like that. And it just and the troops were they just get blind drunk.
Yeah.
Every night, always drunk. Crazy.
It's probably their way of coping with.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a way of coping with it. Yeah. I mean, that one was only a year plus, but it's a long time, and I was relatively young.
Right.
But
what were your opinions of going over and did that change throughout the war effort of how you personally felt?
No, it really didn't. I don't want to use words like patriot and stuff like that. It's got too bad a connotation now. Patriots, right or left and stuff like that. So I don't like to use those. But I'm a person that trusts the government. I mean, trust me, I work for the government.
Right.
I did work in the government for Forest Service for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I used to joke about that. But all in all, and I think it has a lot to do with my faith. I'm a Christian, and we're told by in scriptures that we are to honor our those over us,
right?
Or presidents or whatever, no matter what you think for it, And I'm still of that same. No matter what I don't like or whatnot, we dealt with it in a different way.
Right.
We just and again that was like, thank you, Lord, for for this. I know you're in charge, and it's going to be okay. So I'm not going to look to my own self. I'm going to look to my faith. And so it never really bothered me. I was never like so mad. Then when I got out, then I became a degenerate guy walking around at 30, 40 years old, still protesting the war, which is their right to do. But it's a waste of human flesh. Let's get on with your life. Dude, what's your purpose? What are you going to do? Make yourself employable. You're fooling yourself. You're hurting yourself by extending the it's all the government's fault. Blah blah. Woe is the world. We're going to all die. Something like that. I still had that trust.
Yeah.
And so, and that's, and I laugh.
Right.
I'm a person who looks at the positive with that. I met people over there that I really liked, and a lot of them I didn't like, but it was
you all there for the same thing.
Yeah, we're all there for the same thing, and we had a camaraderie of it, but I knew mine was going to end in 2 years.
Right.
So, but I don't know how much more you want me to go with.
No, as much as you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I remember. The only, I remember you could always hear the war,
Right.
you know, and then again, we were right next to a helipad. Here's us sleeping in kind of like open barracks
Hmm.
inside mosquito netting. You put your arm up against it, sleep against it, and there's like thousands of
Oh,
mosquito bites right there.
yeah.
You know, it was a
And how
awful.
was that like first week there for you?
Oh, well, getting off the plane. I mentioned the
Right.
plane before you get there, and it was just like get off there like a blast furnace.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Hmm.
Why didn't I stay in school?
Right.
Kind of thing, and, am I going to survive this? All kind of thing like that. But so, I was. That's what. I was very fortunate to have been in that place to have survived because. And then my dad tells me when we get home, he said, son, I thought you were going to be the one to eat it. Basically, he told me, thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Dad. But that's who it was hard on.
Hmm.
I was too young and stupid
Right.
to just really look at the whole pictures. But the demeanor changed right when you were processing out to go to Vietnam.
Hmm.
The bathroom walls changed from uh, sexual, and pictures of women and stuff like that on
Yeah.
there. Like military is a pretty not a real moral place,
Right.
and all of a sudden the the writing on the wall became reflective, poetic. Uh, like now they're thinking of their own themselves as maybe dying
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So interesting. I think that's how you get when you first get there. To answer
Right.
your question, you're really, um, and am I going to be killed immediately? Is there going to
Right.
be a strike or something like that? Um, and when I was over there, I never went anywhere. I didn't go on after I can't remember how many months you could go on R&R,
Hmm.
and most people went, spent probably about at that time it was a lot of money, $1,000. Did not ever want to go up and have to come back down again
Right.
to get shot down or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I says, nope, not me. I'm not going anywhere, even in country.
Mm.
I did not go,
Yeah.
but when I was over there, I was alluding to that. I had my, I guess he would have been my commanding officer. He wanted to send me to Da Nang, and Da Nang was more up north, and it was just a hot spot.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has heard of Da Nang, even at probably your age.
Yes, definitely.
And I remember this. That would have been, who knows where I could have been, sort of like a mass unit or something.
Right.
Could have been something a little different as a clerk. I
Hmm.
lost my clerk, got a
Your
good thing
desk
going
status,
here,
right?
status, yeah. But I remember my sergeant major again. Guys, we got along really well.
Good.
We appreciated each other, um, and he put a kibosh to it.
Good.
Just not sending them, not sending them. So I was in place. But if he hadn't done that, I would have been. So
Yeah.
um, that's why people are so important. Not how you can use them, but you have a relationship with people, and that's how my family was.
Hmm.
We were very relational with our cousins, and we are with my current grandkids
Yeah.
and kids and stuff like that now. And it's really what got me through. Like when you come back from Vietnam, like okay, now what do I do? I
Right.
already blew the school thing, uh, and I spent, gosh, 6, 7 months in the high Sierras walking around in the desert, uh, collecting old barnwood out in the middle of nowhere. You ever heard of Bodie? Bodie's an old ghost town in Northern California,
Yes.
and that's kind of where this was. And but there was a lot of like people that had way back in the turn of the century had lived there in ranches and farms and stuff. So there was a lot of barnwood.
Yeah.
I love barnwood. I just I just love it. Do I
Yeah.
got this piece of barnwood in here anywhere? Not
The
it's,
frame looks reflective, but that
yeah.
looks a little bit newer.
Nah, the ones in the
Yeah.
other part of the house are. So
Yeah.
see, barnwood. Here's my brain again. Let's see. I'll blame it on Vietnam. That's what I'll do.
That's
But anyway, that's okay. I had some accidents over there where I had to go in once where they really put the war was really close.
right.
You rode, if you went to I remember once I hurt my head. I don't even tell you what happened, but so I had to go to a field hospital.
Mm.
So of course I wasn't life threatening.
Right.
So, but I was in the middle of a medevac. People around me were dying and or shot up
Right.
and stuff like that. It was take care of them.
Right.
Very sobering. Okay, these are the true soldiers and stuff like that.
That must have been very challenging.
Yeah, it really was, but it was enlightening too because we could speak to the Vietnamese people, and they were just no animosity towards them. They were again just trying to get through yet another set of people who were here to free them or whatever they were going to do. And I'm not smart enough to know if that was a good decision or a bad decision. I'll never weigh in on that.
Yeah.
Because that's just not my place. But they influenced me. I think, and I was sympathetic towards them and them as just poor people, just living in rags and people on the streets, just old people, just Papa Sons, they looked like a Papa Son, with a hat and the Ho Chi Minh beard and the whole bit, and just wandering around, and it was the effects of the war was bad,
right?
And I could never stay in the military, so, but the military doesn't define me, but it certainly
is a part of
me, and I'm sure in some ways it changed who I am, and maybe empathy or something like that. But it didn't. It's not who I define myself as. But a lot of benefits, and the military has been. I ended up getting prostate cancer from. It was determined from Agent Orange.
Oh wow!
This was way long after. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's VA, the Veterans Association Administration, came up with. They're the ones who. There it is, and okay, PSA is high and this and that. Oh, now I see we've got cancer on the prostate. Sorry, I said prostate. And so that's a little memento of the war.
Yeah, something you never asked for.
Never asked for it.
Yeah. But I want to thank you so much for sharing everything. And first of all, thank you for your service. And thank you for being my friend here in Pullman as well. I appreciate you being very open and sharing of the reality you face down there. And Yeah. Do you have any final remarks?
No, well, thank you. It was a
No,
pleasure
of course.
to be for you to remember me for
Yes.
no reason. I'm just a beggar.
No,
I'm
you're
just
more than that.
yeah. So, but thank you for doing that,
Of
and I
course.
wish you all the best in your career.
Yes. Thank you.
It's gonna go all the way, and
Hopefully.
right, and I'll be over at your house someday when you're famous.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll get you like
Yeah.
a mother-in-law thing
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. I've met this guy's parents and his grandmother. He's a good guy.
Reflecting after that interview was pretty amazing. I am very grateful that Philip was so willing to share his story with us. There's a lot of things in that story that we can use today and even just understand more of what life was like back then during that era. I'm sure that man has many more stories, and we're so grateful for the service that he did, even though it wasn't his choice. And also, we're so grateful for those others who served in various other capacities, regardless of the affiliation today. Again, thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you to Philip for allowing me to conduct this interview with him. I do hope you enjoyed, and be on the lookout for more episodes here out in the future. But for now, thank you so much, and have a good day.